Hey everybody, it's Jay Ball, Blue Jays Outdoors, coming at you with a really interesting episode to the 2021 maple syrup season. So I've been thinking about doing a video like this for a while, and I wasn't sure how to actually do it. What I want to do is I want to show you a day in the life of a small maple syrup producer, and I was thinking, well, it's really not fair, right? Because it's different for every single producer out there, whether you're big, whether you're small, whether you're kind of in between. So what I'm going to do is actually give you guys a day in the life of Blue Jays maple syrup. So first thing we have to do today is collect sap. Okay. Once we're going to collect the sap, then we're going to start running sap through the RO. If you're new to the channel, haven't seen any of this stuff before, don't worry, I'll show you everything. But I want to show you exactly what I do on a daily basis when the run's been really good. We had 120 gallons of sap run yesterday. We boiled 2 batches of syrup yesterday. So yesterday probably wasn't a good day to do it. I had the Girl Scouts come over. So today, hang out with me because again, day in the life of Blue Jays maple syrup. It's just around 7 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna start now and see just how long it takes to get a batch of sap run through the system and make Blue Jays maple syrup. So today, from start to finish, you're gonna see sap coming out of the woods and coming out of the evaporator as Blue Jays maple syrup. You guys are gonna wanna miss this episode, so stay tuned. So as you can tell, we got quite a bit of sap. We probably have close to 120, 130 gallons. I actually jack it up on some 4x4s to make it easier to pour the sap out. But you can see, I mean, it's pretty full. I've got my 30-gallon barrel here of recirculating concentrate, and I'm running this through the RO system. So this is just like the RO system in your house. I know from some of you that have been following along with me have seen this new piece of equipment that I purchased this year. But basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the water out of the sap. So maple sap comes out of a tree. Today it's actually 2% sugar. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the sap from the woods, putting it in this barrel, and I'm sucking it through this 5-micron pre-filter, and then it goes through this 2.5-inch diaphragm. Out of this tube here comes pure clean drinking water, just like the RO system in your house. And out of this tube comes out your high concentration sap. So basically what this is doing, this is reducing the amount of time I have to boil. So my goal is to take all this 2% sugar and increase it to 45 gallons of about 8% sugar water and take out all of this sap. So hopefully all three of these 30-gallon barrels will be full. So this is a huge time saver as far as boiling goes, but it also gives me the ability to do a ton of other prep work, which we should start doing that right now. Now the next really fun task is we're going to drain the pan, and the reason why I want to do that is because I want to get some of the bigger, darker sugar sand. I'm not going to scrub it down, but if you take a look, I don't know if you can see it in the light, but you can see where there's some areas where there's some darker sugar sand, and this is definitely dark robust or amber rich syrup. I don't know if it's turned dark robust yet, but what I want to do is I just want to flush the whole system out. I'm going to filter it through one of my paper filters and just get all the big sugar sand. You can see the sugar sand color, so it is getting darker, and I just want to get some of that bigger stuff out. I've got the time to do it since the RO is running, so let me get this thing drained, and then what I'll do is, get the firebox clean and then just keep on prepping. So hang on, because there's still plenty to do, and we still have to boil yet. Crazy. So this is running. The high concentration syrup sap is going through this filter. The RO is running. So now guess what? It's time to go clean buckets, because there's always buckets, there's always barrels, there's always stuff to clean. So let's go downstairs and let's start cleaning some more stuff. Isn't this fun? Isn't making maple syrup so easy? You gotta love this stuff. This is a ton of work, but it is so worth it. Let's go downstairs and get cleaning. It's 11:30 now, so let's do a 4-hour update. So you can see that the tank has gotten pretty low now. We've got our high concentration sap here. We've already filled up that 130-gallon barrel of permeate water. This one's about, I would say, a third full. And we've got all the buckets and barrels cleaned downstairs. We've got the evaporator drained. Now we need to go fill the evaporator back up, clean the firebox, load the firebox, and then probably walk the lines and make sure nothing's leaking. Check to see how much sap we have. And this is just, we haven't even boiled yet. I probably have to actually collect the sap that's running today because it's going to be 60 degrees and the sap is going to go bad and go cloudy. So after this all runs through the system, I might have to go back out, collect the sap, run the RO again, and then boil, and then do both at the same time because the sap that's out there now will go bad. So let's get back in the sugar shack and get that wrapped up, and then we'll reassess what else we've got to do. Also, can't forget about making posts and trying to keep up with all the social media stuff. So, comes with it. It's a really tough grind this time of year, especially making a YouTube video every day, trying to process the sap, keep everything ready to go for my next boil, keep up with social media. But man, I really enjoy this stuff. That's why I appreciate all the positive support and comments. So, can't forget to stay up on social media. It's interesting is this maple syrup stuff. These posts, they don't do that good. It's funny, the fishing stuff, I can get 1,000 likes on a picture of a fish, but posting a video of the evaporator running hot or shooting a huge flame out of the stack just doesn't get the views, I guess. But maybe it's not as cool as fishing. But anyway, I'm going to keep pushing on. So, there's that post. Now what we got to do is we've got most of the syrup. I'll show you. Most of the syrup is drained out, as you all can see. It's in these 2 buckets. The filter is pretty dirty. I wanted to get all that out of the system, so let me dump all this back in, get the firebox cleaned out, get the ash pan cleaned out, get the firebox reloaded, and then we will see what's on the list of next things to do, or the next thing to do. Just in case you're new to the channel and you haven't seen this process and what this actually is, I apologize for not explaining this earlier, but this is my evaporator. So this is a 2x4 flat pan 3-channel evaporator, and that's my pre-warm tank. So this is the sap that comes out of the tree. I've got some frozen. I concentrated that in the RO. You can see the color. It's just, the sap's not going bad, it's just really concentrated. So what happens is when I light this thing up, this float box right here regulates the depth, and you can hear and see that there's a float in there, and as the level goes down in the pan, this float box opens that valve and puts more sap in. So I typically have about just under 2.5 inches of syrup sap in the pan at all time. I try to keep it at that level because any deeper and it takes too long to boil, any lower and you have the potential to burn the syrup. So the change in density from anywhere between 2 and 8% sugar is what pushes the syrup through the system. So it comes in back there. As it boils and changes density, it moves itself through the pan all the way to the back and then all the way to the front. And then once it gets to my preferred hydrometer reading and temperature, which I'll show you guys later while we're boiling, that's when I draw it off into syrup. So this is all syrup. This will eventually be syrup, but it's just sitting here waiting until I get the RO done so that we can start this thing. Started this afternoon and start boiling. Sorry, the generator just kicked on. But yeah, so that's the evaporator. Now, something that I do quite a bit that maybe I don't show or haven't shown well enough is I try to rinse everything as much as I can. So you see the residual syrup down there? Before I would just kind of rinse that away, but I've actually been losing a lot of syrup over the years. So what I've been doing is I'll take some of this sap. I know it's cold, but what I'll do is I'll rinse out this bucket and try to save as much syrup as possible. So what I'll do is I'll slosh that around, whatever you want to call it, do this to the other bucket as well, but I want to save as much syrup as possible because I'm a small producer, right? I mean, typically you can write this stuff off as you're a bigger producer, but every little bit counts. So I just kind of slosh this around in there, do this once or twice, and then what I do is I just dump it back in the pre-warm tank like so. So that syrup will just go right back into the system. So let me do this to the other one. And yeah, so look at, most of it's out. I'll do it again. But just want to let you know that I do try to rinse out as much sugar and keep as much sugar in the system as possible. So you can see I'm rinsing the filter out as well, so there's a little bit of trapped syrup in there, so I just put some of this high concentration sap. We'll let that drain. You can see I got the 2 draw-off buckets mostly rinsed out. So now guess what? We get to go downstairs and clean these and rinse these buckets and get these ready for tonight's syrup. Fun, fun. You can clean a lot of buckets making maple syrup, if you think about it. Draw-off buckets are clean. Filter is still filtering. You can see all that sugar sand, all that niter that built up. So we're done in here for just a minute. Now let's go to the RO and check and see how good the RO is doing, because that has been running for probably about 3.5 hours now. So let's go see what the sugar concentration looks like in the RO system. Looks like the RO system is making some pretty good progress. I shut the intake off because I want to check the sugar concentration. We've pulled that 30-gallon barrel out already. That one's about 2/3 full now. But what I want to do is check the sugar content. So we started off at 2 bricks. And basically what this is doing, for those of you that are new that haven't seen this before, is this is taking the water out, because maple sap starts off as maple water with 2% sugar in it, and as we boil it, it increases the concentration. So when we first started, this sugar concentration, or this bricks reading, was at 2, and right now we're just under 6. I'll try to show this to you using my refractometer. You can see that line just barely. There you go. So that's where the sugar content is now. It's just around 6. And we can take it all the way up to 8 with this system, which just means that's less boiling I have to do. So I've eliminated almost 2 hours of boiling already just with what we've taken out of this sap already. I think I'm going to switch it over though to this 15-gallon barrel, because the concentration, as it gets thicker, it's harder to filter it. So I need to get some new sap in this 15-gallon barrel right here. So let's do that. Let's switch over and see if we can't get some more of the sap processed. Well, the tank is empty. We've got that 30-gallon permeate tank full, that 30-gallon permeate tank full. I just switched over to that one, and we've got about 18 or so gallons of sap. And because of the temperature, I'm actually going to go fire the truck up, and we're going to go collect. I'm going to start at the far north end of my collection station and then work my way back down, because I'm going to just let the RO keep running. It should be good for about half an hour by itself. So I'm going to go start collecting, and we'll come back and see how much more sap we've got, and hopefully start boiling in a couple hours. So stay tuned, there's still more to come. So a lot's happened in the last 12 hours, and I do apologize. So at the last minute, I decided to go get my 92-year-old grandma, who's the reason why I've been making maple syrup, one of the big reasons. And so I got her over here. We made 2 really good draws, and I got back, and the stack actually, I don't know if you can see, but it melted a hole pretty big in the stack, and it's just been chaos. I got up at 3 o'clock this morning. My sap's starting to turn cloudy. I still have about 35 gallons of sap I got to boil from yesterday, plus I collected already this morning and ROing. This is the last boil of the season, guys, but it's just been super intense. I'm trying to salvage as much sap as possible to get as much syrup as I can. So yeah, hang on, we'll see how much more we can get, but it's just been crazy. I got to get this done before my normal job starts in the morning, so I've been up since 3 o'clock. So yeah, just hang on, guys. I do apologize, but it's the end of the season, the last boil, so stay tuned. We are rolling. The flame coming out of the stack. What time is it? I think it's 4:51. Monday morning. Wouldn't have it any other way. Last boil of the season, I think. We'll see. All right, so we're about 2 hours in now, and we've only got about maybe 10 to 12 gallons of sap left in the barrel here. The pre-warm tank is full. We've already made 2 draws. The first draw was kind of premature, I guess, but you can see the syrup is still really good looking. It's definitely amber rich. And it has a different taste than yesterday. So when my grandma and I were trying some yesterday, it had a really lighter buttery taste, but this has definitely got a darker, more robust flavor. But still really good. So yeah, we're gonna keep on pushing through. It's about 6:15 right now, so yeah, it's a good way to start your week off. There it is, last straw of the 2021 season. Made a lot of syrup tonight, or this morning I should say. It's been a good boil. We're gonna cut it close though, because the pre-warm tank is about out of sap, so we are rolling. Talk about a wild day. I mean, we just finished up. It's just before 7:30. I think it's 7:25. So we boiled for let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, just over probably 2.5 hours. We boiled and made probably close to 4 more gallons plus a syrup. And yeah, it's been an early day. Started at 3 o'clock, collected sap, had the RO running, had to fix the stack because it melted a hole in the roof. But yeah, I do apologize. I know I started this video off as a day in the life of Blue Jays maple syrup, and you know, just it was really bothering me. I wanted to get my grandma out here. Not bothering me, but it was actually, because she was supposed to come out on Wednesday, but she wasn't feeling good, so we had to cancel. And my grandma's been coming out here making syrup with me for the last at least 3 or 4 years. She's 92, and to see the smile it puts on her face, and you know, the memory she has with making syrup, it just warms my heart. So I had to make that a priority to get over here yesterday. So we did make about maybe 3 gallons of syrup with her. I didn't video any of that. Got some nice pictures of her drinking syrup with me. But yeah, I think that's it as far as boiling goes. I mean, this has got to steam off now. I need to finish this in the turkey fryer, which I'll show you guys that part of the process too. You know, I'll keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to pull all the buckets and barrels this week, clean everything, and see. It's supposed to freeze maybe a couple more times, but it might be done. And I'll do an end of the season wrap up, but I still have to bottle. I still have to clean everything. There's still a ton of more videos, so don't you guys go anywhere. But I really do appreciate the support, appreciate you hanging out with me. Hopefully this has given you a better idea of what it actually takes to make maple syrup. The way I do it is probably not the most efficient way. I'm sure there's faster ways you can do it, but I just want to show you guys that you can make really good syrup even in your backyard. So again, thank you for all the support. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know anytime I post a new video. Also, for daily updates, follow me on Instagram. That's blue_j_maple_syrup. Really do appreciate it. And remember, the easiest way to change your attitude is by showing gratitude. Thanks, and we'll catch you next time.